rousing round of applause. Welcome. Welcome to the Pre-Savvy Show. I am David Wilson, the Business Savage, here on No Nonsense Market Domination Pre-Show. Being broadcast to you live on All Things David Wilson Facebook, as well as other Facebooks. Facebooks? Is that okay? As well as being broadcasting live on YouTube, on Twitter, and on Twitch. So thank you for being out there with me. Got an exciting show today. As always, this show is brought, this season, this show is brought to you by our folks over at NutriChamps. NutriChamps is where I get my savage nutrition, from vitamins to minerals to supplements to cleansers. No matter what I need to keep my body working right so that I can withstand the day and give it my all, I get from NutriChamps. So you too can do the same thing. Go to NutriChamps.com. That's NutraChamps.com. Fill up your carriage, also known as a cart, depending on where you're from, right? So fill up your shopping cart. Use my code, THESAVAGE1, THESAVAGE, the number 1, and you'll get discounts. You get free stuff when your items shipped to you. Yes. So thank you to the guys over at NutriChamps. Hashtag champion your life. Make sure you place your order at least once every month, once every week, once every day, however you need it. And you too can be a business savage. Yes. All right, so we're in for a great show today. It's exciting. We have 15 minutes to live because we are talking about how to close the deal. It's simple, how to close the deal. So we went through all of the stages of business growth, pre-startup to startup growth, hockey stick growth, all the stages of business growth, hockey stick growth, slow and steady, nice and easy, and sale of the business, right? So now we're going to touch on some different elements of those stages, what they mean to the business owner, and just how to execute them. So the theme of this season is plug into the system. Everybody needs a system. Every business owner needs a system. Am I right? I said, am I right? Okay. Right. So that's what we're going to be. Talking about later. There's going to be 3 areas we're going to focus on when we get to the main part of the show. The show kicks off at 3. If you're first time here, you're in the pre-show, and you get some behind the scenes stuff going on. Good afternoon. So you get to see what it's like. See, what a lot of people think is that it's all peaches and cream once the show launches, but we have makeup, we have wardrobe, we have all the stuff that the big guys have, right, to get prepared for this portion of the show. So it's important. My engineer, who is almost always late, will be here shortly, and I'll introduce him when he gets here. But first, let me say thank you to our first-time listeners. If you're a first-time viewer, give me a thumbs up in the chat. First-time viewer, because we are very excited to have first-time viewers with us, right? And of course, we need a name. We need something to call you guys. The returning listeners. So the returning listeners, the returning followers, thank you very much for being with us today on the pre-show. So I lost my train of thought. Here's the 3 areas we're going to focus on. We're going to focus on how to close the deal in 3 places. How to close the deal all right. Thank you very much. How to close the deal in person, how to close the deal online, and then how to close the deal in the room. You'll hear me say on the show, get me in a room. So when you're in the room, ideally When you're in the room, you are in front of your best prospect who has all of the information he or she needs to make a buying decision today. So that's what we're going to be focusing on. That's going to be our cliffhanger in the fourth segment. In the fourth segment, we're going to talk about what to do, how to close the deal in the room. We're going to talk about some misconceptions of what closing actually means. We're going to tell some jokes because it's going to be funny. It's always funny. I mean, it's funny because my engineer's late. I mean, and that's not even supposed to be funny. That's just normal. We got about 10 minutes to live. 10 minutes to live. My timekeeping skills are funny, and that's not even supposed to be funny. All right, what else we got? Going to have a couple savvy shifts. So for those of you who don't know, a savvy shift is just a mindset shift. Not just a mindset shift, but it's a mindset shift that is required to make change in our lives. A lot of times we don't see things. We have this perception of how things actually are, and it's not, and that's usually not the case. So when we shift them and we look at things a different way, amazingly, our vibrations change, and we get different results. So it's cool. It's cool how that happens. So we're going to go over some of those today. Today you're going to find out what an EPSM is. So I'm going to put EPSM in the chat. EPSM. We're going to find out what that is. We're going to define that. Let me get something up here while we're here. We'll do that one. All right. Scrolling at the bottom of the screen currently is a banner for Fund You Up. So at Fund You Up, we help small, mid-sized businesses get funding, both secured and unsecured, when traditional means are not available. That simply means there's a challenge in one of three areas: a challenge with credit, a challenge with collateral, or a challenge with time, either time in business or time in which the funds are needed. So if your business is in need of short-term capital and they cannot get it from a bank, and they need it in about 24 to 48 hours, we're the place to go to. Go to fundyouup.com. That's F as in Frank, U, N as in Nancy, D as in David, U, P as in Peter.com. Click on the box in the top right corner that says Get Pre-Qualified Now and find out what Fund You Up can do for you. You know why? Because, ready? We're gonna fund you up. Got him. Because that's what we do. That's what happens behind the scenes. Okay, let's do our sound check. Sound check, lighting check. Welcome, Steve. In-house, in-studio engineer just came in. Steve, Namin, you see me? Steve, welcome. You're fired, but welcome. Okay. No, you're not fired yet. I'll fire you after the show because you're so late. All right, we're gonna do our sound check, lighting check, downtown mic check. Here we go. We're gonna go to Avatar to do that, and then we'll be right back. We got about 8 minutes to live. 8 minutes to live. Stand by. All right, sound check, soundboard check. Yeah, it's cool. I like that. All right. Yes. Okay. Downtown mic check. Check. Hello. Check. Yep. Let's check our lighting. Lighting check. Is that shiny? Is that too shiny? Is that too shiny? I don't think so. Okay. I think we're good. All right. Welcome back. All righty. All right, we are back. I am David Wilson, Business Savage. Welcome. No Nonsense Market Domination here on, right now, here on Facebook, here on Twitter, here on Twitch, and here on YouTube. We're getting ready to go live on No Nonsense Market Domination on IBGR.Network. That is an internationally broadcast business growth radio show, broadcasting over 80% of the countries worldwide, which is amazing. Yep, amazing. We're about 6 minutes to live, 6 minutes to live. And, we're about there. So all of our checks are done. I'm going to get some hydration before we start. Please put comments in the chat, things you might want me to talk about. I will probably not talk about them today, but you can certainly put them in there, and I'll see them. I always talk about how important it is for good hydration, good nutrition as entrepreneurs. So we have to make sure we do that. Good preparation. I am prepared for this show. Oh, and make sure you get your show notes. So you have show notes that are in your post. If you're watching on Facebook, if you're watching on YouTube, I think Twitch might have them. I'm not sure. Twitter probably doesn't. So go to IBGR.Network /David Wilson, and you can get your show notes there. All right, so we've got about 3.5 minutes to live. 3.5 minutes to live. We're all set. So again, thank you for being with me today. We are going to learn how to close the deal today. Remember, and there's going to be an instrument, an implement that we're going to be talking about throughout. And I'll give you a hint, but I'm not going to give it away. So the implement is something that is typically used in a kitchen or with your car, truck, or SUV. So let's see if you can figure it out by the time the show starts. And we'll get into it. So again, what do we got? 3 minutes to live, 3.5 minutes to live. And we'll go. We're going to have a good show. Steve is ready. Downtown is ready. And yes. All right. So there we go. We're all set. Again, thank you, everyone. We'll be going to Avatar shortly. And then we will be going live with our intro, No Nonsense Market Domination. Again, I'm David Wilson, the Business Savage. Make sure you like, follow, share, subscribe to all the stuff that you're able to, and get the word out. Help us get the word out. Share the show. Tell your colleagues, tell your coworkers, tell your friends, tell your enemies. Because if you tell your enemies, they're not going to be your enemies anymore. They're going to be your friends. All right, here we go. Going to Avatar. Stand by.
Lifetime, which is -5, all of you tracking around the world, we tackle the toughest issues around attracting, developing,
2 minutes to live. 2 minutes to live.
The series is known as Real Health Quantity, with the emphasis on real, which is both a quantity and quality problem. This is why our series tagline is building an all-in workforce. We will challenge your beliefs and provide you with tools Saturday live, or if you want to listen to it as a podcast, you got to go to Biz Talk Radio. That's BIZ talkradio.com. When you get there, you see shows. When you open it up, you see my mugshot and a listing of all our podcasts. Let's work together. Let's reopen.
All right, 1 minute to live. Final checks. We're good.
Every global business owner and entrepreneur wondering how to build a workforce that can scale with the company. We are reserving a seat for you every Saturday at 1 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time.
Final lighting check.
Discussing how to attract, develop, and pay
Good.
all in workforce. Join me on Biz Talk
All right,
Radio,
Steve, last one. Good to go? All right. Downtown Mike, final check. We'll go.
This season we start with real help wanted that builds a solid foundation.
All right.
For creating a self-managing organization.
That's it. All systems go. Let's have a good one. Let's have a good one.
Our team also will be available to answer your questions on our LinkedIn business page. Go there at IBGR.Network. Be here at 1 p.m. Saturday and pick up your reserved seat. I'll be waiting.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's that time again. Today is Savvy Day, and we're going to change the world. So you ready? Please say my name. Savvy. Let's go. All right, welcome to the Savvy Show. I'm David Wilson, the Business Savage. No nonsense market domination here on IBGR.Network, Profit Radio. By entrepreneurs for entrepreneurs, no matter what stage of business you are in. From pre-startup to startup, growth to hockey stick growth. That's really, really, really big growth. To slow and steady, nice and easy. This business is going great. To I'm ready to sell it. Get the most I can for my hard work. And I want to buy an island and flood it with adopted ferrets from all over the world. Oh, that's so stupid. No matter what stage of business you're in, it doesn't matter. We're here to help. Come grow with us. Hey, yeah, you. Come grow with us. We are broadcasting live from the capital of the South, Richmond, Virginia, USA. Once again, I am David Wilson, the Business Savage, and welcome. You are in the right place at the right time on No Nonsense Market Domination. We have a great show for you today. Let me first start by, actually wrote this down this way. We're going to first start by talking about our show sponsor. So our show sponsor this season, season 6, plug into the system, is NutriChamps, NutriChamps.com. It's where I get all my savage nutrition, vitamins, minerals, supplements, what have you. Go to NutriChamps.com. That's NutriChamps.com. You can use my code, THESAVAGE1, THESAVAGE, number 1. Fill up your cart, get whatever you want, buy as much as you want. Use that code to get free stuff. You get money off, and you too can be a business savage. Yes. Thank you. Thank you to all of our returning listeners. Shout out to IBGR.Network, where we are live right now on the radio. Shout out to Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and to Twitch, where we are broadcasting on live television. So thank you. If you're a first-time listener on one of those media, one of those media, that's correct. Ms. Carhart, that was correct. Then welcome. Now, if you're one of our returning viewers or returning listeners, I want to send out a special thanks to you guys for being back with us today. All right, so this show was actually spawned by someone who wrote in, Mr. or Mrs. Anonymous. It's true, that's how I got it. And that person suggested, hey, you should talk about closing the deal. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to talk about closing the deal. And I figured what I'd do is I'd split it up into 3 areas, because we talked about the growth, well, the stages of business. In each of these stages of business, we have to know how to close the deal. The key to closing the deal, and this is the mistake that people make. You go back to, and I'm going to do this because I haven't done this since season, I think 3, maybe season 3 or season 4. Yeah, I've been around. I've been around IBGR for a little bit now, and so back in season 3, I would talk about one of the greatest movies of all time, well, at least one of the greatest sales movies with the most famous people that nobody saw a movie of all time is Glenn Ross. And in that movie, I'll spare you the details, but in that movie, Alec Baldwin, a young debonair Alec Baldwin, is playing the part of the guy from downtown, from Mitch and Murray. And he comes in and he talks about A, B, C. He's scolding the sales staff. A, B, C. A, always. B, B, C, closing. Always be closing. Always be closing. Hey, you, put that coffee down. Coffee's for closers only. So you remember that. You know that. Google it. But what does it mean to close? And there's a lot of misconceptions around closing. There's a lot of misconceptions around selling, and we're gonna dig deep into those today. What some of those misconceptions are and how to dispel them, and you're gonna get some savvy shifts today that are definitely going to help you moving forward. So I'm excited about that. Everything we're talking about today, remember, and everything we're talking about this season comes from my interactions with clients that I work with that connect with me through my Savvee Sessions. They plug into my system where I help them see things a different way. I help them see a different perspective and kind of steer them in a different direction with a different set of unbiased, unfiltered eyes. And sometimes that's just what we need, right? That's what we need. One of the things I wrote down in my notes. So the cliffhanger. So why should you stick around today? You should stick around today because in the last segment, we're going to get into the room. And get into the room means I spoke about this in season 4, I think. Ideally, where we want to be is we want to spend all of our time in the room. And in the room is you got that, Ms. Carhart, got him. That's proper. And our ideal prospect who has every piece of information they need to make a business decision today. Does that make sense? Now, you can't have every piece. They're going to have questions, but we want to have that person properly prepared. So when we're sitting down in the room, we're leaving that room with an answer. We're going to talk about what that answer can be, what it should be in the rest of the show. But I'm going to give you a couple of, how much time do we have? I know I didn't introduce you. We'll get to it. So, all right, I'll just do it now. My in-studio engineer, Steve, Now, me, you see me. I did not introduce Steve, and on Steve time he was early today, so we'll take it. We'll take it. So here's some takeaways that'll prepare us for the rest of the show. We actually have to know what we're closing, and what are we actually closing? So many people make the mistake of trying to close the whole enchilada, and we really didn't even have the chips yet. You know what I'm saying? Like we didn't have they didn't bring the chips and salsa out yet. And we have to understand where we are in our system. Okay, so number one, what are we closing? Number two, I promised you an implement. I did this on the pre-show. So we're going to talk about an implement. I don't have time to go through the whole song and dance that I gave during the pre-show. If you want to join us on the pre-show, just go to David Wilson, Facebook Live, about 15 minutes before the show, all things David Wilson. And we talked about the funnel. So it's a funnel. We're going to talk about a funnel. And when you hear me talk about a funnel, you're going to hear me say something like, we're going to funnel it down to a yes or no question. So that's where we want to be. We want to funnel it down to a yes or no question, whatever it is. Okay. We want to also understand that just like failure is okay, no is okay too. Just like failure is okay, no is okay too. And that's a big misconception in our world, because we're so really, I think it's a selfishness thing. How dare you tell me no? And really, we want to recondition ourselves to think, please tell me no. Matter of fact, tell me no as early in the process as possible, so I don't waste my time on anything further. Then I'll leave you with this, and this is a recurring theme on the Savvy Show. We talk about the two things we need to keep in the front of our minds at all times. Those two things are give. So give, and I'm just trying to help. Give, and I'm just trying to help. If we have that mindset where we're giving and just trying to help, then we not only can we not be rejected, but we're not perceived as selling. In fact, we're not selling because we're just trying to help. Make sense? Okay, so take those things, and especially the yes or no question. When we come back from the break, we're gonna get into some in-person networking, and what we're doing moving forward, and how we're gonna handle that. And we're gonna talk about what to do, what to say, what we're actually closing. And I'm gonna tell you what one thing to stop doing when we are in-person networking. So we'll see you on the other side. Push. All right, good set there. Good work, Steve. All right, good. Let me know if you have any questions. Thank you. Welcome to all of you who jumped on during the show. So we thank you very much for that. There's some hockey stick growths out there. Hockey stick. Yep. I see that. So that's great. All right. It's so funny how important hydration is. Right now here in the capital of the South, it's about 1,000 degrees, and it really can take its toll on you. You have to make sure you stay hydrated. You have to drink more water than you probably should need. Hey, there's my commercial. All right. I was going to call this show The Art of Closing the Deal, but I think that's a book that somebody else wrote. So we're not going to talk about that. But let me get actually my book. So this next segment is going to be brought to you by this book, I Hate Networking Events, written by, hey, you guessed it, David Wilson. That's me, the Business Savage. And this is a book that helps you with in-person networking, what to do before, during, and after your networking event of choice. It is available on IHateNetworkingEvents.com. It's also available on Amazon and on what's the thing? Kindle. So you can get it there as well. But check it out. Definitely. Oh, we are 30 seconds to live. Amazing how time flies, eh? All right, 30 seconds to live. Here we go. So my timing, my audible timing is changed. So I have to actually watch the clock now. It used to be that a certain thing would come on and just not prepared for it anymore. It's not that simple. Times are changing. Hey, stop clapping. Stop laughing. I can't hear. Okay. All right, there we go. Wow, it's so late. It's the Savvy Show. Everybody know. Let the people go. Yeah. All right. We are back. Welcome to the Savvy Show. I am David Wilson, the Business Savage. No nonsense market domination here on IBGR.Network. Profit Radio. We are in season 6 of No Nonsense Market Domination. Thank you. Okay, that's cool. We can do that. Season 6. That's amazing. So let me give a shout of thanks to the founders of IBGR, IBGR Profit Radio, IBGR.Network, the IBGR conglomerate, Donna Cundy and William Eastman. So thank you guys for your hard work behind the scenes. Make sure you follow IBGR on Facebook, follow IBGR on LinkedIn, follow IBGR on, I think we're on Twitter and on YouTube as well. So subscribe there. Just go out and do that. I mean, if you have to leave my show to do it, don't. But just do it after the show. Or unless you're going to do like theirs and then my stuff, then you can do it now. So, all right, thank you guys. Appreciate it. To plug into the system, every business owner needs a system. We talk about our system on the show. My system, on the show. And the business owners, entrepreneurs that I've helped along the way, and all of the stuff we talk about in season 6 comes from conversations, sessions I've had with other clients, the work I've done with other clients. And today we're talking about how to close the deal. And we're going to use, sometimes I'll speak specifically about a client. Other times I'm just going to glaze over it. This segment is brought to you by a book. And the book is called I Hate Networking Events. I Hate Networking Events is a book I wrote, and it is endorsed by the father of modern networking and the founder of BNI, Business Network International, Dr. Ivan Misner. In fact, it is one of the only, if not the only, books that Ivan Misner has endorsed that he has not been a contributing author on. That's a big deal. That's a big deal. You can get that book at IHateNetworkingEvents.com. That's IHateNetworkingEvents.com. Or you can go to Amazon and you can get it. I Hate Networking Events. Thank you. Thank you, Steve. Thank you very much. So now many of us are going back to networking in person, and we spoke in the first segment about what we need to stop doing, what kind of hangups we have and whatnot. And actually just knowing what we're closing. And a lot of times we don't know. So we don't know what we're even closing, and we're trying to sell stuff. So you're that's like a lose right off the top. The easiest way, what is the easiest way to sell nothing in a jam-packed room? What's the easiest way to sell nothing in a jam-packed room? Fill it with salespeople. Fill it with salespeople, because you're going to have a whole bunch of salespeople trying to sell each other stuff that they don't need, sell each other stuff that they don't even know that they want. They probably don't want. They don't want to even be, and it's just a disaster when that happens, because we don't know what we are closing. We should in a networking, in an in-person networking environment, and we talk about this in the book in I Hate Networking Events, but the two questions: what are you closing? So what is the next step? The close is simply the next step. Okay, the close, people think, oh yeah, if you don't get a commission check, you're not closing anything. No, the close is the next step. Sometimes this stuff takes time. It's like you see a pretty girl across the gym, and you walk up to her and say, oh, will you marry me? It's like, no, that's not, you don't do that. What? You did not do that, did you? Okay, well, how'd that work out for you? A Noman. Okay, great. See, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. So no, it doesn't work, Steve. And this is my show. This is the Savvy show, not the Steve show. Don't. So no, it doesn't work. It takes time. We have to go through the stages. And there's only one thing you should be thinking about when you think you have someone that you're going to connect to, that you're connecting to, and you can have some value. There's some value there at a networking event, and that's something called an EPSM. I put that in the chat. EPSM. Well, not on the radio, but I put that on the chat. Exploring possible synergies meeting. Exploring possible synergies meeting. When we're in person, we shouldn't be selling anything. The main thing we should be doing is asking questions. You want to know how to close the deal? Learn how to ask questions. Learn how to ask questions, and learn the art of shutting up. Just zip it. Be quiet and listen to what people say. Listen to what people say, because they're going to tell you all you need to know. What is the one thing in your business right now that just keeps you up all night? I bet I know what it is. No, don't do that. Be quiet. Be quiet and listen, and let them tell you. Let them tell you. Remember, we're not selling anything. So give, and I'm just trying to help. Give, and I'm just trying to help. Because that's what you're doing. When you're asking questions, you're just trying to help. We talk about it's actually not in the book. That's in the No Rejection Connection. So that was another program, a networking program, is a connection program I devised and wrote. You can go to thenorejectionconnection.com and learn how to connect anyone to anyone, anywhere, for any reason, without the fear of rejection. Yep. But I talk about in that we should be listening for ways to do one of four things. So as we're listening to the answers to these questions, can I help them? Can they help me? Can I help their clients? Can they help my clients? That's it. If the answer to one of those questions is yes, you know what? Based on what we've spoken about here, it seems like it would make sense for us to continue this conversation outside of this meeting, perhaps over coffee. Now, what I talk? What's the implement? Type it in the chat. What's the implement? The funnel. Okay, the funnel. Would that be okay? Does that make sense? What do you think? What do you think is not a yes or no question? Well, I guess it could be a little bit more dangerous than, well, how does that sound? I guess it's the same thing. So how does that sound? Yes. Great. There's your close. When they say yes to that question, it's a close. Okay. When they say no to that question, it's like, no, it's like, oh, well, wait, well, why not? It doesn't make no, it's okay. Because remember, no is okay. We'd rather have that no now than in the room when it was going to be a no anyway. Make sense? We'd rather have that no now, and we want to invite the no. Invite the no. I want to know now if this isn't going to work, if this is too expensive, if this isn't the right time. So, does it make sense? What do you think? Does it make sense for us to meet outside of the meeting because we have some possible synergies that I'd like to explore with you? No, the timing is not right. Oh, well, when would the timing be? No, I'm just playing. Don't say that. Oh, so you got soft. That's Jersey. Okay, so the time when do you think the time is going to be right to get together and no? Okay. Oh, all right. Well, when, sir, do you think the time would be right for us to get together and explore the possible synergies? And it's now they're like, oh, nice and open and fuzzy and furry. They're like, oh, maybe next quarter. Great. Do you mind if I call you back? This is so hard. Great. Do you mind if I call you back in the next quarter? But of course. Okay, and then you got it. So then now they go into the CRM, they go into, and you follow up with them the next quarter. No problem. Or, yes, and then you say, great, I'll call you in the next day or two and we can schedule our meeting. Does that make sense? So that's it. The key, know what you're closing, stop selling, and listen. Try to help. So listening is trying to help. Does that make sense? Okay. So when we come back from break, where are we at? What we're gonna talk about is we're gonna go from in person to online, and we are going to talk about the same type of scenario. So instead of being in person, we're going to be on our online platforms like LinkedIn, like Facebook, and you'll find it is kind of the same, similar. There's a lot of similarities. So be ready for that. And remember to stick around for the last segment where we get in the room and we are ready to really, 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 really close. So we'll see you on the other side. Jay Slaps. I reminisce for a spell, or shall I say, think back 22 years ago to keep it up. Whew. All righty. Good set. Excellent. Good work. Keep the comments coming. We appreciate them. Third segment coming up. We are rolling nicely. 2 minutes to live. I'm just going to take a little break. It's a lot of energy that goes into doing this, and it sometimes it wears me out. I mean, I'm young. I'm not saying I can't handle it. It's just, but it's a full on focus, especially now that you see behind the scenes. Because when I get out of wardrobe, it's a trip. Wardrobe and makeup takes a lot longer than you think. Ooh, all right. What do we got? We're at the bottom of the hour here, about halfway through. And we are, about 1 minute to live. 1 minute to live.
Have you ever heard the saying, or which will the singers do about these?
So if you haven't already done so, if you ever can't catch the Savvy Show here on Facebook, here on Facebook, Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, you should download the app, the IBGR app. Just go to your favorite app stores, type in IBGR, download the app, and check this out. I'm going to say this during the radio show, but I'm going to give you a sneak peek because this is exciting. Let me turn this down. Hold on. With the IBGR app, you can listen to any and all on-air talent on IBGR, but most of all, you can have Savvy in the palm of your hand. FCC would have kicked us off for that. All right, here we go. All right. Cue the music.
Child on the 8th of October, my toast. But my granddaddy came sober. Count all the fingers and the toes. Now I suppose your the little black boy grows. 18 years younger than my mama. But I really got beaten with the girl of trauma. In single parenthood, there I stood. By the time she was 21, had another one. This one is a girl. Let's name her Pam. Same father as the first, but you don't give a damn. Irresponsible, plain not thinking. Papa said chill, but the brother keep winking. Still he won't down you or tear out your hide. On your side while the baby make a slide. But mama got wise to the game. The youngest of 5 kids, here it is.
Got where I was for a second. Welcome back to the Savvy Show on IBGR.Network, Profit Radio by entrepreneurs for entrepreneurs. No matter what stage of business you are in, from pre-startup to startup, growth to hockey stick growth, really, really, really big growth, to slow and steady, nice and easy. Hey, this business is running great. To it's time to sell. And I want to buy a fleet of solar-powered cars and drive them around the world. Why is that funny? I wouldn't mind doing that. That sounds pretty cool. So no matter what stage of business you're in the right place. IBGR.Network. Come grow with us. Hey, come grow with us. All right. About halfway through how to close the deal. We went from in-person networking to online networking. I want to get something off my chest in this segment because there was an interesting beef on LinkedIn earlier in the week, and it was by this head of marketing of a company. I'm not going to name the company. I'm not going to tell that person's name. It doesn't matter because then they'll be writing me, and then they'll be like, "Why'd you say my name? I got fired. I didn't tell on somebody's lemonade stand who didn't have a license." And but whatever. Okay, sorry. But I think she was in the right place. I think she said it wrong. So in short, this is how it went. And she was she was taking a tally of, I'm going to see how many unsolicited emails. And then, you know what? Wait a minute. It's not even fair. I don't even know if that's what she sounds like. So I'm sorry. But then if I do a different voice, it's like, oh, why she sound like that? It's like, so we're just going to do it like this. I have been taking a tally of unsolicited emails that I've gotten in my inbox since 7 o'clock. And it is amazing how many, hey, I want to connect with you. Hey, I want to do business with you, that I get just out of the blue without even knowing who these people are. And you would have thought this lady was like killing ferrets or something like that, like killing like a ferret serial killer, because she got jumped on. I mean, how dare you say that about people? What about you? You're in a marketing position, so you're blasting salespeople and what they do to try to get in contact with people. And she took a lambasting, and it was pretty incredible. You don't usually see that on LinkedIn. That's more of a Facebook thing. And she took it pretty well. I mean, she took a Dipset beat down, but she definitely took it well. Yeah, I ain't worried about that. So anyway, here's the takeaway from that though. Here's what she should have done. This is what she meant. I know what she meant. She just didn't say it right. Many of us. So I look at LinkedIn. Let's go back to the networking room we just left. So that in-person networking room. Remember when I was talking about I hate networking events and all that? And we're connecting. We're not selling. LinkedIn is a big old networking room. It's just on the computer. Okay. It's a big old networking room on the computer. And reaching out, sending a message to someone or trying to connect with someone is akin to walking up to someone and saying hello in person. So that's my belief. So first and foremost, I think if you are on LinkedIn, you have given others on LinkedIn the license to reach out to you and ask you something. So get over yourself. You self-important. Anyway, because for real, you have given people the license by beat. Now, somebody saying, "Oh, well, I have a right to my LinkedIn profile and not be." Well, then get off of LinkedIn. How about that? Get off of LinkedIn. Just like I don't want people walking up to me at networking events and saying, "Don't go to the damn networking event. Stay home. Stay home." That's fine. For the rest of people, now here's the problem. Now I'm not saying that Steve, no, not you, Steve, who reaches out to the marketing director saying, "Hey, I looked at your profile. It looks really, really cool. Let's connect." That's like walking up to someone and saying, "Hi, I'm Steve. Can I have your business card? I want to set a meeting with you in person." It's the same thing. And we don't do that. That doesn't make sense, right? So it doesn't make sense electronically. The reason we do it electronically more readily, more eagerly than we do it in person is because it's largely there's anonymity, pseudo anonymity. So it's not a real person. And volume. You have the ability to do this with thousands of people in a day, if you have computers and software and whatnot. And people say, "Oh, well, it's a numbers game." Somebody will say yes. And it's like, a friend of mine used to say that to me. He's like, "Oh yeah, oh, yo, D Will, just sit here and just keep asking. Somebody will say yes." My response, "Yeah, but who's gonna say yes?" It's not like we don't want everybody to say yes. Anyway. No, they're not. Tell the F. No, don't worry about that, Steve. Hang up. So here's how to tweak that. Just like in the networking room in person, we have to stop selling. We need to know. So what is the close? What are your closing? It's much harder to do this online electronically than it is in person, because you have two-way communication in person. You have one-way communication online. So if I'm standing before you and I ask you a question, you are more likely to answer that question while we're conversing than you are if I were to send you an email or to send you a message on LinkedIn or Facebook. You understand? So that means you have to get somebody's attention immediately. What you say better be better than your profile picked up. It's got to be better than that. It's got to be better than that. So remember, give, and I'm just trying to help. Do some research. Go onto their profile. Research the company. Why are you reaching out to them? So I noticed you were a business banker at ABC Bank. We've helped many business bankers turn business loan turndowns into new bank business, giving businesses who otherwise wouldn't get their funding the funding they need to grow. Would you be funnel? Would you be open? Would you be open to a conversation, not a meeting? Would you be open to a conversation to explore what that might look like and how we might be able to help you? Yes or no? Simple. Now, so what I just gave you, I gave this to you. It's something I developed called the No Rejection Connection. If you go to the norejectionconnection.com, you can plug into that system. There's a free video, there's a free script on how to do just what I told you to do, and then there's something that you got to pay for that's real high level if you really want to take it to the next level and make those kinds of connections on a higher level for yourself, for your network, and really put some money in your pocket. But we have to catch their eye up front, and you catch the eye with that yes or no. So they're going to read that and they're going to say yes or no. I get plenty of no's on that, but I get my share of yeses. And remember, a no is okay. Sometimes I don't know why it's a no, but no problem. I understand. That's one of my favorite next lines. I understand. Now watch this. Here's the takeaway. Would it be okay if I hate this, but touch base, everybody says that, touch base with you periodically just to see if you might need some help in the future? Sure. No problem. That's a win, guys. That's a win. All right. So when we get to the other side, we can get back from the other side, the dark side of the moon. We're getting into the room. We're going into the room. We're going to close. And we're going to do the one thing. We're going to talk about the one thing that most people don't do, which is why they don't close the deal. We'll talk about that when we get back from the break. No nonsense, market domination. I am David Wilson, Business Savage. Let's see you on the other side. When I take back, I recall a man off the family tree. My right hand, Papa Doc, I see. That's a good set. Good work. Good catch there, Steve. It's a good job. All right. All right, 3/4 of the way through. Oh, that timing is good on the downtown end. Okay, good. All right. Give me some feedback, guys. Welcome, returning listeners, Angel. I know Angel is here. Returning listeners, returning viewers, sorry. Anoint. I think it's anoint. Anoint. Yes, anoint. Thank you. Thank you for being back. And we're about to wrap up. So if you know any businesses who are in need of business funding, You can go to website that's scrolling along the bottom there, www.fundyouup.com. That's www.f as in Frank, U, N as in Nancy, D as in David, P as in Peter.com to see how much your business can qualify for. I'm doing it the same as the commercial. It's on IBGR right now. So I'm listening to me do and watching me do it as I listen to the commercial. It's pretty cool. Anyway. All right. We're getting in the room with my friend, the misunderstood Don Draper. From Mad Men. So we set this up pretty nicely, and we're going to teach you what to do. And I think there's going to be two key takeaways here. The misconception of what we don't want to hear, and the misconception on what we don't want to say, on what we should be saying. So we'll talk about that. What we got here? What can we do? Let's do boy, this is a last minute change, boy. I don't have time to do it. That's all right. 5 seconds to live. Right? Come on. 5 seconds to live. What are you doing, Steve? '90s. Coming at you. Welcome back to the Savvy Show. I'm David Wilson, the Business Savage. No nonsense market domination here on IBGR.Network Profit Radio by entrepreneurs for entrepreneurs. Did you know that you could listen to any of the on-air talent whenever you want through the IBGR app? Yes, you can. You can. There's an app. So go to your favorite app store. I think there's only 2, maybe 3. So I did find out that there's an Apple store, like for Apple phones. There's an Android store, like for Android, like Google Play and such. And then there's a Samsung store, which is like for the highfalutin, the bougie Android users. So go to any one of those, search for IBGR and download the app, and you can listen to any of the on-air talent whenever you want. But here's the twist, okay? Here's the twist. And this is the cherry on the sundae. This is the cat's meow. You can listen to Savvy anytime, right in the palm of your hand. It's true. It's true. Don't roll your eyes at me, Steve. How to close the deal. We are in the room. As promised, 2 takeaways from being in the room. So now we are in front of our best prospect who has as much information as he or she could possibly have. This is ideal, right? As much information as he or she could possibly have to make an informed and intelligent business decision today. Okay? Now, remember, give, and I'm just trying to help. Here's misconception number 1, that when we get in front of the prospect and we get them, because Alec Baldwin and Glenn Ross is like, get them to sign on the line which is dotted. That's it. And we kind of adopt this very zero-sum adversarial mindset when we get in front of the prospect, getting them to move forward. And we should not do that. We should not do that. We're still giving. We're still trying to help. And if we did our job up till this point, this part should be the easiest part of the process. It should be the easiest part of the process. A couple of techniques. So number one, continue to give, continue to help. Number two, we've been collecting data up till this point. So we cannot be afraid at this point in the process to identify misinformation. So if you told me you had 25 employees 2 weeks ago and we got to this point and I said, oh yeah, so with your 25 employees, oh, we don't have any employees. Okay, here's my point. This is a process, but this is not like child's play. All right. While it's not adversarial. Okay. And you know what? I want you to write me on this, because what I'm describing to you right now is the reason deals don't, first off, deals don't close at this stage that should, number one, and deals get to this stage that should have never gotten to this stage. So if you want to fix that, listen to this segment. So we have to be willing to say, well, wait a second, I'm confused. You said you had 25 employees. When did that change? Maybe it changed last week. Maybe he lied. Maybe she, whatever. But we need to be willing to hold, because we have spent what here? Sometimes money, but mostly time. And our time, when this mindset changes, this is a savvy shift right here for our entrepreneurs. This is why you want the no as far back in the process as possible. I'm going to borrow something from the Sandler Sales Institute. And in speaking to the prospect, I want you to be okay telling me no at any point during this process. This is what you're saying to them before we get to the room. Okay, this is what we're saying before we get to the room. Okay, I need you to fill out this application. Now, there's a lot of information on this application. Some of it you might not be comfortable putting on this application. Okay, if at any time this makes you too uncomfortable, just tell me no and we'll stop here. I want you to say no. Remember that. We want that no before we get to the room. But once we get to the room, the expectation is we're done. This is about, the paper that I'm signing is a really good stock of paper. That's where we're at this point, because we've done all the work up front. Okay, and then can we still? So let me be clear though. Can we still get no here? Yes. Do we get no here? Yes. Should we get no here? Ideally, no. But it happens. If you get no here, go back, take a look at your process, go over it. It very likely could be that you did nothing wrong. It's likely you did nothing wrong. It's just happened that way. But now, ultimately, so I want to make sure, here's how this goes. So we're going to recap everything that we talked about. And this could be closing anything. This could be, we explored possible synergies. And so how often do you come across companies that you're not able to fund? Might be a question I ask. You'll have different types of questions you ask to get to see. In that particular example, I'm not selling, quote unquote, a product or service. I'm offering a service. But if I were selling it, so you mentioned you needed funding. Have I answered all of your questions up until this point? Yes. Do you have any other questions? No. And even before this, here's a good takeaway. Is there anything at this point that I have not covered for you that would prohibit you from moving forward tomorrow, as we discussed? Now, I've thrown this question out at other salespeople, and a lot of people hate that because they think it's so aggressive. They think it's so heavy-handed. But what is it? It's a yes or no question. It's a yes or no question. You know what? Yes. What happens if, because I want them to ask that question now before we get in the room. Because once we get in the room, we're like smiling, shaking hands, kissing babies, and we're gonna pop the bottle and celebrate because that's where we're at. Here is maybe the biggest takeaway, and this is the other piece of why deals don't close. Most deals, I don't care what the deal is, most deals don't close because you don't ask them for business. That's it. I close you every week, and you may not even know that, right? So you're like, damn, wait a minute. You ready? You ready? Are you ready? You ready? That's a close. It's the same thing. It's yes or no question. You ready? No, I ain't ready. I'm turning this mouth. Okay, cool. Or you ready? Yes. Right? See? Now you're ready. That's just a voice. I'm just saying. But you see, that's a close. So, are you ready to do business? Let's move forward, shall we? Shall I get my paperwork? Okay, let's go, right? I am excited about doing business with you. That's not even a question. I've used that before. I am excited about doing business with you right now. Boom. And that's it. You cannot do all of that work up front and be afraid to ask for the order. You can't be afraid to ask for the order. You can't be afraid to finish the close. And that's it. That's how it works in the room, guys. Ladies and gentlemen, I am David Wilson, the Business Savage, here on No Nonsense Market Domination. We will see you next week. Thank you for joining us here on IBGR.Network. Thank you to Facebook. Thank you. Thank you to YouTube. Thank you to Twitter, and thank you to Twitch. We will be back next week. Same time, same place. Broadcasting live from the capital of the South, Richmond, Virginia, USA. Make sure to like, subscribe, share. Accordingly, tell your friends, tell your enemies so they can be your friends. I, again, am David Wilson, the Business Savage. No Nonsense Market Domination. We'll see you next time. All right. I said, Pop, maybe when you're older. We laughed all night about the hookers at the party. My old man standing yelling, good God Almighty. Use your condom, take sips of the blue. When they reminisce over you, for real. Right. All right, good show, guys. Thank you. Thank you for being with me on No Nonsense Market Domination. You see, I'm drained, man. Like this takes a lot out of me. Like I deadlift over 500 pounds. I squat over 1,000 pounds. I leg press over 2,000 pounds. And this, this is a trip, but it's a lot of fun. I hope that we're able to change at least one life and give them something they never heard before. They can help them push their business forward and take their business to heights that they've never taken their business to before. So I appreciate the opportunity to do that with you guys. Some things are coming up. So again, next week, same time, right here, broadcasting live from the Virginia, US, 2:45, No Nonsense Market Domination pre-show. Wednesdays at 2:45. Keep your eyes open for Savvy Silks. You can go to savvysilks.com. That's SAVVEE Silks, SILKS.com. So you can get on the waiting list for the much anticipated Savvy Silk. Yes, the Savvy Silk. It's definitely on the way. We showed a sample. Well, we can do that again, I guess. Let's see if we have one. Where is it? Without knocking everything down. I'll show you a sample if I have it. There it is. So it's pretty cool. And you have to look real closely. And you can see embossed. So the one I have in my pocket is not this one. And you can see the Savvy Silks logo embossed there. So it's pretty cool, right? And it'll be this size. So it will be the only pocket square you ever need if you don't have a pocket square, right? So it'll be like the staple pocket square. And then we'll come out with more, and we'll come out with other accessories and what have you. So keep an eye out for that. You can go to fundyouup.com if you need business funding, or if you know somebody who needs business funding. Love being introduced to business bankers, CPAs, and accountants, lenders, commercial lenders, and residential lenders, all to help them do deals they can't normally do. They're not able to do because their customer, their client, their prospect does not qualify for traditional bank financing. Simple as that. So we are here to help. You can also go to allthingsdavidwilson.com and follow me on all the socials. Again, like, share, subscribe, and all that good stuff. Tell your friends, tell your colleagues about No Nonsense Market Domination. If you like it, say something nice about it. Again, share it, like it, subscribe. If you don't like it, just keep that to yourself and maybe just don't come back again, and you'll find something else. But if you do, if you do, definitely let people know. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that is my time. Thank you very much. I am David Wilson, the Business Savage, here on No Nonsense Market Domination, the Savvy Show. We will see you next week. Same time, same place. Have a marvelous day. Thank you.